Anime girl. Damn. There are boobs everywhere. Boobs. Boobs. It's like they put more animation effort into boobs than they do faces. Ah. Boobs. Boobs. Panda boobs! Best of both worlds. Boobs. 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 What's Japan's obsession with over-sexualizing everything? Well, I mean, who's opposed to plot? Well, let's sit down and I'll teach you a thing. Yeah. That took way too long. Hi guys, it's Makka the American here. And as you saw in my little rant in the beginning, I just can't understand, well, I can understand, but people get very confused here in America about why Japan is so over-obsessed with over-sexualizing things. We have things like ecchi, we have things like hentai, we have things like yaoi, yuri, the list goes on. And here in America, we don't understand the idea of boob basics or why boobs were that popular or anything along those lines. So let's sit down. Got my glasses on. They're like my handy-dandy notebook. And we're going to talk about this. So this video is about why Japan over-sexualizes everything in otaku culture. Not everything. Most things. So if you guys like this video, remember to like it and subscribe. I don't sit here and talk to a camera for fun. Normally. Japan is this culture where sexuality is not spoken about whatsoever. In America, we do have some parents who were brave enough to dare that conversation and have the talk. In Japan, the talk doesn't exist. They don't really talk to their kids about these kind of stuff. They don't say, hey, I need to speak to you. In fact, sex and other things like sexuality in general are kind of a stigma in Japan. Nobody wants to talk about having it or being gay, etc., etc. In fact, there's practices in Japan where you adopt your child's partner to avoid that conversation entirely. But let's think about this. Here in America, there's this common thing. It's kind of a stigma. I just hit the mic. It's kind of a stigma. We have that really over-conservative kid, was raised maybe in a religious family or just a conservative family in general, where alcohol was not a thing. And then, this kid gets through high school, maybe they don't even get through high school, or they get to college, and that kid becomes the biggest party animal ever. Because what was out of his reach as merely a fantasy has become a reality now that he can make his own decisions. Similarly, the sexuality coming from anime and manga and things like that stems from the fact that Japan doesn't talk about those things. Because it is not a realistic conversation or image to have. They take that image and they project it in their minds and maybe they draw it or they create it because they have to have some sort of release for the things that they keep in all the time. The same way with we write bad poetry when we're feeling sad. You know, a lot of artists have these fantasies and these visions because of the fact that it's not acceptable for them to voice those in public. And so things like ecchi and hentai are born. And of course there's also Japanese porn, but everything is censored. So the censorship is that desperate last attempt by the public to say, you still can't, we want this, but it's still not okay, so they censor it. At the last effort to deny the fact that they're like, so in the end, Japan is this very conservative country that we have, but at the same time, they're also one of the weirdest countries in the world because of their censorship laws. They have to start thinking outside of the box and get into the erotic to get off on it. So, in the end, as Americans, as just people of the world who are looking in on that true otaku culture of Japan, what can we gain from it? Hentai. Honestly, we can't fix Japan as Americans. We have to let Japan do what it needs to progress as the world progresses, and maybe they don't catch up in our standards, but we have to respect that and be respectful of them and their decisions as a government, as a people. And also, boob physics can be really cool. So that's all for this video, guys. I know it was kind of short. It was interesting trying to film this, to be honest. And once again, if you liked this video, you can also see some of my videos, like what not to do when you're asking for things like photographs at cons. And just like this video, subscribe to my channel, and you'll see a lot more otaku content, cosplay makeup, maybe singing. And I will see you guys in the next video.